Yeah, thank you guys for all the support. Super happy to be playing with Alex, and hope you guys can keep supporting us. And we don't like Team Coachella, so pick a new
Okay, so another name maybe. Another name. We're still friends?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
So you see, it's all good, guys. Chill out.
Weeks for me, I started off being flag bearer of the country and, of course, topped it off with
Gauff's 3 heart emojis just shattered a 26-year curse. The Alex Eala story that will make you believe in tennis again. What is going on, Champions Tennisitics fam? Welcome back to the channel where we don't just cover tennis. We uncover the stories that matter, the moments that define careers, and the friendships that remind us why this beautiful sport is so much more than just a game. If you're new here, get ready because what you're about to hear is the most heartwarming yet criminally underreported story in tennis right now. And it involves a broken curse, an Instagram comment that stopped the internet, and breaking drama from Macau that's unfolding as we speak. Picture this. While tennis superstars are lounging on exotic beaches or fine-tuning their games in luxury training facilities, preparing for the Australian Open grind, something absolutely legendary just went down in Thailand. We're talking about a moment that bridges the massive gap between the glittering world of Grand Slams and the passionate, gritty reality of regional Asian sports. And at the center of it all are 2 names, Gauff and Alex Eala. Now, before you think this is just another feel-good tennis story, let me tell you why you need to pay attention. This story has everything. A 26-year national nightmare finally ending. A friendship forged through mutual respect and competition. 3 little heart emojis that somehow managed to send shockwaves through the tennis community. And a masterclass in what true sportsmanship looks like in an era where everyone is fighting for their own spotlight. Let's set the scene. We're in Nonthaburi, Thailand, at the 33rd Southeast Asian Games. Now, if you're watching from the United States or Europe, you might be wondering what the big deal is about a regional tournament. But that's exactly the kind of thinking that needs to change, and here's why. For athletes across Southeast Asia, the SEA Games isn't some second-tier event or glorified exhibition match. This is their Olympics. This is where legends are born, where national pride hangs in the balance, and where the weight of an entire nation's expectations comes crashing down on your shoulders with every single point you play. Enter Alex Eala, the 20-year-old Filipino sensation who has been absolutely on fire in 2025. Let me break down her resume so you understand the magnitude of what we're dealing with here. This young woman cracked the top 50 in the world rankings, made the semifinals of the Miami Open where she took down the world number 2 Iga Swiatek in a match that had everyone's jaw on the floor, and captured her first WTA 125 title in Guadalajara. By any measure, Alex Eala is having the kind of breakthrough year that most players can only fantasize about. But there was one piece of unfinished business haunting her, one ghost that needed to be laid to rest. The Philippines hadn't won a gold medal in women's singles tennis at the SEA Games since 1999. Let that sink in for a moment. 1999. That was the year The Matrix revolutionized cinema. The year we were all panicking about Y2K. The year before the iPod even existed. The last woman to achieve this feat was the legendary Maricruz Fernandez. And since then, there had been nothing but heartbreak, nothing but close calls and crushing defeats. 26 years of almost, so close, and maybe next time. A quarter-century of drought in a country that bleeds passion for its athletes. A country where sports heroes are treated like royalty and their failures are mourned as national tragedies. Alex Eala wasn't about to let that continue. She arrived in Thailand on a mission, and what she delivered was nothing short of complete and utter dominance. She bulldozed through the competition with a level of focus and intensity that left opponents scrambling and spectators stunned. When she reached the final against Thailand's home favorite Maninkaya Sawanki, the pressure was suffocating. The crowd was hostile, the stakes were astronomical, and millions of Filipinos were watching back home, barely able to breathe. But Alex? Ice cold. Absolutely ruthless. She demolished her opponent 6-1, 6-2. And when that final point landed, history was rewritten in real time. The Philippine Sports Commission immediately dubbed it the Golden Smash, and honestly, the name couldn't be more perfect. Alex posted a photo of herself wrapped in the Filipino flag, clutching that gold medal like it was the most precious thing in the world, with a caption that gave everyone goosebumps. For the Philippines, and for the Filipinos. I will go home with souvenirs in town. It was raw emotion, pure national pride, and the culmination of decades of waiting and hoping and believing. The Filipino tennis community absolutely exploded. Social media went nuclear. This wasn't just a sports victory. This was cultural vindication. This was proof that Filipino athletes can compete and win at the highest levels. Now here's where the story takes an unexpected and absolutely beautiful turn. Typically, when a player wins a regional event like the SEA Games, the celebration stays localized. The home country goes absolutely crazy, the Asian sports media covers it extensively, and the Western tennis establishment just keeps sleeping, completely oblivious. Business as usual, right? Not this time. Something different happened. Something that shows us the sport might be changing for the better. Buried in the avalanche of congratulatory comments, amidst thousands of Filipino flags and heart emojis and messages in Tagalog, there was one comment that made everyone stop scrolling and do a double take. A verified checkmark. A name that needs no introduction. Coco Gauff. 3 red hearts and a simple congratulations. And before you dismiss this as just another celebrity leaving a generic comment, before you think we're making a mountain out of a molehill, let me explain exactly why this matters so much and why it's causing such a massive reaction. This isn't just a casual social media interaction. This is the entire tennis hierarchy being acknowledged and challenged. This is a masterclass in what real leadership looks like. Coco Gauff is global royalty in the tennis world. She's a US Open champion. She's on magazine covers, walking in fashion shows, and commanding million-dollar endorsement deals. Her off-season typically consists of appearances at the most exclusive events on the planet, luxury vacations that most of us can't even comprehend, and brand partnerships that set her up for life. For her to be paying attention to the results of the Southeast Asian Games, for her to take time out of her incredibly busy schedule to publicly acknowledge a victory that offers 0 WTA ranking points, relatively minimal prize money compared to tour events, and 0 mainstream media coverage in the Western world, that's enormous. That tells us something profound about who Coco Gauff is, not just as a tennis player, but as a human being and as someone who understands her platform and responsibility. To truly understand why this moment hits so differently, we need to rewind to May 2025 and the Italian Open in Rome. This is where the friendship between Coco and Alex really took root, and it's a story that perfectly illustrates what's possible when ego takes a backseat to genuine connection. Alex Eala did something that takes serious guts. She slid into Coco Gauff's direct messages.
Hi everybody, it's Alex and Coco here. Thank you so much for all the support that you've been giving us this week. And hopefully in our next match, a lot of you will come out and watch.
In the cutthroat, status-obsessed world of professional tennis, there are a million ways that could have gone wrong. Coco could have ignored the message completely. She could have had her management team send a polite decline. She could have pulled the classic celebrity move of leaving someone on red and pretending she never saw it. But she didn't do any of those things. She said yes. She said, sure, why not? Let's do it. And that simple act of saying yes speaks volumes. They teamed up for doubles in Rome, and the chemistry was instant and undeniable. Coco publicly called Alex a killer on the court, one of the highest compliments you can give another player. They laughed together, they strategized together, they celebrated points together, and for those brief but magical moments, the artificial barrier between superstar and rising player completely dissolved. It was beautiful to watch, and it gave us a glimpse into what the future of women's tennis could and should look like: collaborative, supportive, and genuinely connected across rankings and nationalities. But here's the thing that separates genuine friendship from manufactured PR moments that exist only for Instagram content. Lots of players team up for doubles once, take a cute selfie for social media, and then go back to their separate universes. The superstar returns to the private jets and exclusive training facilities. The challenger player goes back to the grind of qualifiers, smaller tournaments, and budget airlines. Ships passing in the night, never to interact again. But Coco Gauff didn't forget about Alex Eala. She didn't treat her like a temporary doubles partner or a box to check off on her PR to-do list. By commenting on this SEA Games post, Coco proved that she's not a fair-weather friend or someone who only shows support when cameras are rolling. She's actively watching Alex's journey, even when it takes her to tournaments that aren't televised on ESPN or the Tennis Channel. Even when it happens halfway across the world in venues that the mainstream tennis media doesn't care about or even know exist. That's loyalty. That's genuine support. And it confirms something many of us have suspected about Coco for a while now. She's not just playing tennis for herself and her own glory. She's a true student of the game, a supporter of women's tennis globally, and she understands something crucial that many stars never grasp. For this sport to truly grow and thrive and reach its full potential, it needs stars from everywhere. Not just from Florida and France, but from Manila and Bangkok and every corner of the globe. But hold on tight, because the story doesn't stop in Thailand with that golden moment. If you think Alex Eala is taking a break to bask in her glory and polish her gold medal, you clearly don't understand the relentless pace and grind of this young superstar's life. We've got breaking news coming in right now from Macau, and let me tell you, it's pure chaos and drama over there. Right after that historic win in Thailand, Alex jetted off to what's known as the Vegas of Asia, Macau. She's currently there with her support squad, which includes her dad Mike Eala, her brother Miko, and her coach Sandro. But she's not just there for the famous egg tarts and the glitzy casinos. She's there to compete in the MGM Macau Tennis Masters, an exhibition event that's already overflowing with storylines and last-minute drama. Just this past Saturday, December 27th, Alex stepped back onto the court for a mixed doubles showdown. She was paired with China's rising star Jerry Xiong, and the energy was electric from the start. But things didn't exactly go according to the original script. They faced off against the formidable duo of Spain's Alejandro Davidovich Fokina and China's Yibing Wu, and the match was a nail-biter from start to finish. Here's where it gets interesting. Originally, this match had a completely different flavor and storyline. Alex and Jerry were supposed to face Wu and the Russian teenage sensation Mira Andreeva. You know Mira, she's Alex's friend, her rival, and one of the few teenagers on tour who can match Alex's talent and hype. These two have history. They have mutual respect, and a match between them is always must-watch tennis. But in a last-minute twist that had the organizers scrambling and fans confused, Mira Andreeva was reportedly sick. She had to pull out of the mixed doubles, forcing a sudden lineup change that nobody saw coming. So instead of the highly anticipated battle of the teens that everyone was excited about, we got a strange reshuffling. And unfortunately for the Filipino-Chinese duo, the chemistry just wasn't quite there against this new opposition. Eala and Xiong fought hard and showed flashes of brilliance, but they ultimately fell short, losing 7-5, 7-6. It was an incredibly tight match, especially that second set where they pushed it all the way to a tiebreak, but they just couldn't find the rhythm when it mattered most, losing the breaker 7-1. Earlier in the day, Fokina had already defeated Xiong in singles, so it was a double blow for the young Chinese star and a frustrating day overall for the partnership. But here's the kicker. Here's why you need to keep paying attention. The weekend isn't over. The exhibition games continue through Sunday, December 28th, and the headline match that everyone is talking about is still on the schedule. Despite the illness scare and the uncertainty, Alex Eala is slated to face Mira Andreeva in women's singles on Sunday. The question on everyone's mind, will Mira recover in time to play? Will Alex carry that golden smash momentum and that wave of confidence into a singles victory against a top-tier rival? This is the storyline we're all glued to right now. It's friend versus friend, prodigy versus prodigy, and if Mira is healthy enough to take the court, it's going to be an absolute baseline war that you won't want to miss. This Macau detour perfectly illustrates the relentless, non-stop pace of Alex's life right now. 1 minute you're crying tears of joy wrapped in your national flag after ending a 26-year drought. The next minute you're on a plane to Macau navigating lineup changes, dealing with sick opponents, and facing the pressure of exhibition matches where national pride is still on the line. It's a whirlwind existence, and Alex is handling it with a level of maturity and professionalism that's way beyond her 20 years. And speaking of maturity and emotional honesty, we need to briefly touch on another major story that's rocking the tennis world right now, because it provides important context about the mental toll this sport takes. While Alex is riding this incredible high, another young star is bearing her soul in a way we rarely see from professional athletes. Breaking news just dropped regarding Emma Raducanu, and it's heartbreaking. The British superstar released an end-of-year message that was so raw, so honest, and so vulnerable that it literally had fans around the world in tears. She held back nothing, thanking her fans for helping her survive what she called a difficult year. Her exact words included, "I cried, and I," before trailing off, unable to even finish the sentence. She expressed deep gratitude for the support she received after the mistakes and setbacks that plagued her 2025 season. But let's bring it back to the positive vibes and the uplifting message at the heart of today's story, because that's what we're really here to celebrate. We're witnessing a genuine shift in the culture of women's tennis, and it's happening right before our eyes. We spend so much time in the media talking about rivalries and manufactured drama and conflicts. But look at what's actually happening when we pay attention to the real stories. You have Coco Gauff using her massive platform to lift up Alex Eala. You have Alex Eala and Mira Andreeva maintaining a genuine friendship despite being rivals who have to face each other on court. You have this new generation of players who fundamentally understand that they are stronger together than they are divided. When Alex Eala wins gold at the SEA Games, she's not just adding another trophy to her collection or padding her resume. She's validating an entire nation's tennis program and investment in the sport. She's proving to every young kid in Quezon City or Cebu or Davao who's hitting balls against a wall that dreams can become reality, that it's possible to compete at the highest levels, that the path exists if you're willing to work hard enough. She's carrying the crushing weight of representation on her shoulders every single time she steps onto the court, and she's doing it with grace and determination. Every match isn't just about her individual success. It's about showing what's possible for an entire generation of Filipino athletes who are watching and believing. And for the Filipino fans, we need to talk about this because if you know anything about Filipino culture, you know this moment is absolutely massive. Filipinos are the most passionate, engaged, ride-or-die fans on the entire planet. They claim celebrities who have even the tiniest drop of Filipino blood. They flood social media with overwhelming support. They turn out in massive numbers for their heroes. So when someone like Coco Gauff, an American superstar with no Filipino connection, shows genuine love and respect to their queen of the court, that makes Coco an honorary Filipino instantly. The Pinoy pride energy is off the charts right now, and I guarantee you Coco just gained millions of loyal Filipino fans who will support her unconditionally for the rest of her career. So what does all of this mean looking forward? For Alex Eala, this SEA Games gold medal is the perfect launchpad into the 2026 season. She's entering the new year with sky-high confidence, a top 50 ranking that she earned through sheer talent and grinding work ethic, and the knowledge that she can handle the suffocating pressure of carrying national expectations on her shoulders. She's got her sights set on the Australian Open next month, and here's the thing you need to understand. If she keeps playing at this level, she won't just be labeled as a promising young player who's developing nicely. She's going to be a legitimate threat to anyone in the draw, a name that top seeds don't want to see in their section. There's also been serious talk about the Philippines potentially hosting a WTA event in Manila next year, partly due to what people are calling the Eala effect, the massive surge in tennis interest and investment that follows her success. Can you imagine if Coco Gauff shows up to play in Manila? The scenes would be absolute chaos. The energy would be off the charts. It would be a cultural moment that transcends sports and becomes something truly special. And for Coco, she's showing us in real time that she's ready to be the elder stateswoman of the tour, the leader and role model that the next generation needs, even though she's barely into her 20s herself. She's building and fostering a culture where women support women, where stars support grinders, where greatness recognizes and celebrates greatness regardless of geography, ranking, or media coverage. She's showing us what the next generation of tennis leadership looks like, and honestly, it's absolutely beautiful to witness and be a part of. Tennis is infinitely better when it's truly global. It's better when we celebrate stories like the 26-year drought in the Philippines with the same enthusiasm and attention that we give to a Wimbledon final or a US Open championship. And it's definitely better when our top stars take off the blinders, look beyond their immediate circle and their own careers, and show genuine love and support to the rest of the tour. Coco Gauff didn't just leave a comment on Instagram. She didn't just drop 3 heart emojis and move on with her day. She left a mark on the sport. She showed us that class is permanent, that character matters more than ranking points, and that the best way to elevate yourself is to elevate others along the way. And Alex Eala? She just showed the entire world that the future of Asian tennis is in incredibly capable hands. The golden smash is real. The narrative is shifting. The old hierarchies are being challenged. And the world is finally waking up to what's been happening right in front of our eyes. So here's what I desperately want to know from you, the Champions Tennisitics family, the people who make this channel what it is. Is Coco Gauff the most wholesome, genuine, and authentic player on tour right now? Do you think Alex Eala can take down Mira Andreeva in the Sunday showdown in Macau, assuming Mira is healthy enough to compete? How far can Alex realistically go in the Australian Open next month? Can she crack the top 20 in 2026? Is she a future Grand Slam champion, or am I getting ahead of myself? I want to hear your takes, your predictions, your hot takes, even your controversial opinions. Drop them all in the comments section below. I read every single comment, and I genuinely love debating tennis and discussing these stories with all of you. This community is what makes creating this content worthwhile, and your insights and perspectives make us all smarter fans. If you love this deep dive into the stories that mainstream tennis media completely ignores, the narratives that deserve attention and celebration, the moments that remind us why we fell in love with this beautiful sport in the first place, do me a massive favor right now. Smash that like button like Alex Eala smashed that championship-winning forehand. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to officially join the Champions Tennisitics family, and make sure you never miss another story. We're growing faster than anyone expected, and I promise you don't want to miss what we've got planned for you next. We've got more underreported stories, more deep dives into the narratives that matter, more drama, and we're just getting started on this journey. Until next time, keep your eyes on the ball. Keep supporting greatness wherever you find it regardless of ranking or nationality. And most importantly, keep the conversation going. This is Champions Tennisitics signing off. Peace out.